This is the largest soybean farm in the world. Bon Futuro Farms operates on over 225,000 square kilometers in western Brazil. But what this picture doesn't say is that every year, agriculture uses 70% of the fresh water extracting from the ground, 40% of emerged land, 110 million tons of fertilizers, and 2.3 million tons of pesticides, as well as being the first emitter of greenhouse gases on the planet. Now, what's even more astonishing is that 30% of that global production is actually going to animal feed. So we're talking about 85% of the global soybean production, 50% of the global corn production going to animal feed, while millions of people are suffering from hunger. Millions of people. Europe alone uses 90 million hectares of land in the world to produce grains to feed their animals. That's the size of Tanzania, an entire country. Now, if you thought that was bad, there's worse coming up, because by the year 2050, there will be 9.6 billion people, which means 2 additional billion people on this planet. What does that mean? The African population alone represents more than half of it. And the African population is expected to double from 1.1 billion people today to 2.4 billion people by that time. That means 2 essential things. Food production has to double, meat production has to double, and for that to happen, feed production has to double too. Now, that means also that the horrible picture that I showed you before is also about to happen. What will the world look like in 25 years if you continue like that? An ecological disaster, that's how I call it. Now, hopefully, at Proterra, guess what? We have a solution. And our solution is insect farming. This is the black soldier fly. It's an amazing species that doesn't eat, doesn't smell, and doesn't bite. And you can actually clean all of the pathogen bacteria on the organic matter on which its eggs grow. And the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization has recognized insects as the future of feed and food. Now why? Because insects are very nutritious. They're also extremely resource efficient, as they use drastically less water, land, feed, and emit negligible greenhouse gases to produce the same amount of protein as plants and animals. Isn't that incredible? Now, our process is very simple, while very challenging at the industrial production level. We breed millions of black soldier fly in a closed environment, and we collect food waste. Food waste is evaluated to be at 90 million metric tons of fruit and vegetables waste every year in sub-Saharan Africa. So our process actually provides 2 solutions: production of sustainable animal feed and food recycling solution. We breed those flies, we mix them with the food waste, and at the end of the cycle we can collect fresh larvae and a bio-fertilizer. Now, our larvae can actually be dried and crushed into powder, and that powder can go into the animal feed market. We can also extract the fat content from our insects to produce oil, and that oil has the same properties of biodiesel. The environmental impact of Proterra is just tremendous. Compared to soybean production, insect farming saves the environment immense amounts of water, land, fertilizers, pesticides, and greenhouse gases emissions. Insect farming has therefore the potential to even mitigate global warming. And for each ton of insect that we produce, we're saving 1 ton of fish in the water, because we're substituting for fish meal in animal feed. Now, who's behind Proterra? I am Sidiki So. I am the founder of Proterra. I am an agro-environmental economist by training at McGill University Faculty of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, and I'm soon to become professional agronomist from the Order of Quebec Agronomes. Our team is made of core consultancy. We have Tess that has 2 years of experience in investment consulting. We have Pierre-Olivier Macquart, who has 1.5 years of experience in black soldier fly farming, and we have Golope Koni, who's the world pioneer in research on insect as animal feed. Proterra is also blessed to have an outstanding board of advisors. In fact, Forbes magazine 2016 has recognized Aspire Food Group as the global leader in insect farming and Africa Impact Group as the African leader in impact investing. Proterra also benefits from the advising of some of the most influential agribusiness companies in West Africa. Proterra is proud to have won HEC Social Business Creation 2016 organized by HEC Montreal and the Grameen Creative Lab against 44 teams, 108 students from 30 universities in 16 countries in the world. Proterra is also one of the top 5 winners at Accelerate 2030, an initiative launched by the United Nations Development Programme and Impact Hub Geneva as one of the most impact-driven social enterprises in the world, against 177 applications coming from 10 different countries. That program benefited us from free advising from some of the global leaders as the Boston Consulting Group, Sidley, and Dalberg Global Development. Now, we want to close by saying that Nobel Peace Prize laureate Mohamed Yunus addressed the HEC Social Business Creation Competition 2016 that I was part of and that I won the first prize for, saying, and I quote, "You have to believe that you have the power to change the world because you are the most powerful generation in the whole human history. Use that power, make change happen." And tonight's event was entitled Empowering the Leaders of Tomorrow. Allow me to disagree with that by quoting Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, who addressed the McGill graduating cohort 2016 that I was also part of by saying, and I quote, "You are not the leaders of tomorrow, you are the leaders of today. And as they have believed in me, I hope you should too." Lastly, to the jury members, it's gonna be tough, it's gonna be tremendous work, but if you choose me, I promise one thing: we will make agriculture great again. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Siddiqui.